Hi guys, this is Paul with Tweaktown. We're here at Storage Visions 2015. Right now I'm sitting down with Shawn DuBravac. He is the chief economist at the CEA. The CEA is best known for putting on the world's largest tech show, which is CES, which begins tomorrow. Of course, here at Tweaktown, we'll have you covered on that. The CEA is actually part of a much larger organization. It's a much larger organization than just the CES show. So, Shawn, could you tell us a little bit about CEA and some of the other activities?
Sure. As you mentioned, CEA, best known as the owners and producers of CES, but we're also an ANSI accredited standard setting body, so we facilitate standard setting body in a number of areas. We are probably best known for closed captioning as a standard, but we've done a large number of standards. We have a public policy group that focuses on policy initiatives at both the national and state level here in the United States. We do a number of other events, and then we also run what is essentially a boutique research firm, and that's what I help oversee at CEA. So we size the market opportunity both here in the US and globally, and we look at the trends that are defining the industry as we move forward.
And in the technology market, of course, there's been a lot of talk about, especially among our viewers, it's always a big topic, is about the decline of the PC. And over the last few years, there was some contraction in the PC market, and a lot of people predicted that the tablet would kill the PC, or at least eventually it would wither away. But now we're starting to see that reverse, and tablets are going the other way, and PCs are experiencing a little bit of growth. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in your research?
Sure. I think the way to think about technology use, especially device use, is that consumers are really taking a more holistic approach to the devices that they use, and they want to be able to toggle across devices. Tablets, as you mentioned, grew very quickly. Introduced to the mass market relatively recently, 2010, and over the last 4 years grew significantly. Today, about 55% of households in the US own a tablet, and that really is starting to approach what I call near-term saturation. I think near-term, you're probably looking at 60 to a little over 60% of households that are going to own a tablet. Now, over time, that can grow, but it becomes a little bit of a replacement market. And part of it is that there was a lot of experimentation in that category. Consumers were looking at what's the use case scenario, how am I going to use it, how's it going to be different? And as they define the use case scenarios, then it starts to settle in and to that more mature path. So the life cycles start to expand, the replacement cycle starts to
Because there's not a whole lot of differentiation between an older tablet and a brand new tablet today, correct?
Right, so they start to expand that life cycle, which is exactly what happened to laptops with the introduction of tablets. So in 2014, as tablets started to slow, we saw consumers going back into buying laptops. We saw growth in both the laptop and the desktop market, partly because of the operating system shifts that went into place last year. But as we move forward, I think it's worth thinking more broadly than just those devices. Globally, we have about 1.7 billion computers in place. Last year, the number of smartphones surpassed that, 2 billion smartphones in the market today.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. And so we're starting to change the way we use the internet, but we're moving into an environment where we're going to have 50 billion connected devices, 50 billion connected objects. Only about 4% of everything that could be connected is today connected. And so that really is the future of where things are going. It's thinking about all of these things in their analog form and how they might be one day connected.
And so all of this is driving, a lot of that is probably fueled by the Internet of Things, correct?
Definitely. This all becomes the Internet of Things. And I think, eventually, maybe sooner rather than later, we'll even start using the Internet of Things because it will just be the Internet.
Correct. It's like an omnipresent force in every.
Right. We kind of stopped talking about mobile in some ways because it just is the Internet.
Correct. And you also have recently published a book that kind of expands on a number of different topics. Can you give us a few words about your publication?
Sure, yeah. CEA has published 3 books. The first 2 by Gary Shapiro. This is their 3rd book that I authored. It's called Digital Destiny. And it's about the future of the digitization and the connection and ultimately the sensorization of consumer tech and what the ramifications and implications are of this trend. So as we start to digitize our physical space, as we start to connect it, as we start to embed sensors into it, what are the use case scenarios that are opened up? I think we're at this really interesting inflection point where we move from thinking about technology as looking at technology as as a question of, is it possible? And we're moving towards a question of, yes, it's possible, but is it meaningful?
Exactly. Yeah, do I actually need a sensor and embedded in my milk jug, like some people have suggested?
Exactly. So for the last 50 years, we've been fighting the technical problem of, can we do this? We solved that now, by and large, and now we're looking at, okay, should we do it? If so, when should we do it? How should we do it? What does that data empower? So that's really the essence of the book. What does the future look like in a world defined by digital objects, and ultimately in a world defined by data?
And that sounds very interesting. We appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by the booth.
Yeah, great to be here.